it loud. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't take dope or have affairs. Just call me square, 'cause I don't care.
Come ride a little train going down the track at the junction. Woo, woo! Very cool junction. There's old Uncle Joe moving kind of slow at the junction. Woo, woo! Very cool junction. I will return. Come ride a little train going down the track at the junction. Woo, woo! Very cool junction. There's old Uncle Joe moving kind of slow at the junction. Woo, woo! Very cool.
From the Spring Hill Toyota Traffic Center.
Still looking very slow on I-10 East in Milton. Crews are still on the scene of a crash at Ward Basin Road, and it's also affecting traffic along Highway 90 as you make your way from Pace to Milton. Also watch for a crash in Mobile on Airport Boulevard between I-65 and Bel Air. Also a crash on Fairfield Drive at West Jackson Street in Pensacola.
This report is sponsored by Positive Coaching Alliance.
Got issues with youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports coaches, parents, students, and administrators. Visit PCADevZone.org.
If you see traffic trouble, call the Acadian Windows traffic tip line at pound 250, keyword total traffic when prompted. Acadian Windows, your hurricane protection specialists.
Now, here's your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, family. That's family. Enter it now at News Radio 710. Weekday afternoons from 5 till 7.
Friday evening, what a feeling. I feel like singing. Weekend, do what you want to do. Weekend, be what you want to be. Weekend.
Wonderful town, wonderful people, places to go, things to see. My love is Mobile, that's my wonderful town. Beautiful homes, schools and churches, entertainment, places to shop. My heart's in Mobile, that's my wonderful town. Mobile, the center of transportation, business and industry set the pace. Mobile's got the Junior Miss celebration, home of Mardi Gras and Senior Bowl game.
Mobile is great to live in and work in.
The climate's ideal for progress you see. My love is Mobile, that's my wonderful town.
This is the Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM. Thank you so much for listening. I do appreciate you listening here on this Friday. I appreciate you listening anytime you decide to listen to the Uncle Henry Show. I really do. And once again, here we are together. Just me and you trying to figure out what is going on. What is going on in the world around us? I feel like I have less of a handle on what is going on in the world around us as each day goes by. if you can help me get a handle on it, 251-479-2723. That's 251-479-2723. That's 251-479-2723 to call the Uncle Henry Show. Email address, unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. That's unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. I have no idea. I just feel like I know less about what is going on in the world as each day goes by. For example, just for an example, today. Now, I got up in the morning, and I turned on the television because I saw that the government was going to release these UFO files. And release the UFO files. And they were going to do it at 7 in the morning, which is, I think, is almost a middle finger to the UFO people, because the UFO people are known to be night owls. They are. The UFO people, the people I'm talking about that listen to Coast AM on this station, listen to Art Bell. They're up all night fantasizing about aliens and coming and picking them up and probing them and stuff like that. Well, 7 a.m. for UFO release. That's not good news for all these freaks, these UFO freaks that are up all night doing who knows what, thinking about their UFOs. But I decided I would turn on the TV and see what are they going to tell me? What are they going to tell me about these UFOs? What is the government? First of all, I don't even understand why are they even releasing this stuff? But I got up and I thought, well, turn on the TV and see what the news is on this. Is there anything special? Has there been are the aliens here? Are the aliens working with us? Is there an alien that we don't know of that's actually in the Trump administration or has worked for Biden or anything like this? And I turned on Fox and Friends. Not necessarily because I really enjoy it, but most of the other shows, like the people on Good Morning America, I can tell that they don't really like me. I can just tell if they met me, they wouldn't like me. I can just tell by the way they report the news. They wouldn't like me. People at Good Morning America, they would not like me. And I never watched the Today Show because I know they wouldn't like me either. They just wouldn't. In fact, I stopped watching the Today Show years ago. I remember one day there was a Democrat senator there was a disgusting Democrat senator on there. And I remember Katie Couric telling Matt Lauer how cute she thought he was. Isn't he cute? I thought, well, I don't need to watch this garbage. So I've never watched it. Yeah, I hadn't seen the Today. I don't even know who's on there anymore. Since Katie Couric and the philandering Matt Lauer. And I haven't watched, I don't even know what's on CBS. Oh, yeah, Oprah Winfrey's friend, Gayle King. I don't watch that either. So I turned on the Fox and the Friends. Now they had Peter Doocy come on there, and he was smiling and said that the White House had surprised him by giving him some type of special files on his desk. And one of the friends on Fox and Friends, the dumber one, there's a dumb guy on there that usually sits on the far right. And he was asking Peter Doocy, what should we do if we meet an alien? So they weren't taking it seriously. It was the top story. They weren't even taking it seriously. So why should I? But then they come out and they say, guess what? There's things flying around and we don't know what they are. All right. And then what? That's it. All this, we've had months of buildup. We've had Congress people, different members of Congress. They run out and do all these podcast interviews and say, oh, it's coming. It's coming. We're going to find. It's coming. It might be demons. Tell us all this stuff. And then this morning, they're joking about it. There's something in the sky. We don't know what it is. I looked at some of the videos. Some of it looked like, I think I remember seeing early silent movie animation that looked like that. I don't, what did they didn't tell us anything. What do you think this is really about? Why are they really, why are they doing that? What are they going through this for? Keep us interested in, keep us talking about something other than something else that we don't even know is going on? What is this about? UFOs. And they refuse to call it UFOs because people like me are old enough to know it's bull. And so they had to come up with a new name for it for Generation Z. Different acronym. Makes it sound, no, this isn't one of those silly UFO. This is something different that stands with a U. UAP or something like that. You can mark me down in the unimpressed category. I still do not believe that aliens are visiting the planet and flying around and picking up farmers and messing with their cattle. I don't believe it.
Still looking very slow on I-10 East in Milton. Crews are still on the scene of a crash at Ward Basin Road, and it's also affecting traffic along Highway 90 as you make your way from Pace to Milton. Also watch for a crash in Mobile on Airport Boulevard between I-65 and Bel Air. Also a crash on Fairfield Drive at West Jackson Street in Pensacola.
This report is sponsored by Positive Coaching Alliance.
Got issues with youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports coaches, parents, students, and administrators. Visit PCADevZone.org.
If you see traffic trouble, call the Acadian Windows traffic tip line at pound 250, keyword total traffic when prompted. Acadian Windows, your hurricane protection specialists.
Uncle Henry here, and if you're home.
YouTube viewers, if there are any, hello to you. I've got a small number of people watching. "69-year-old Chris of West Loxley, Chuck, Larry Morting, Pat Nelly. Thank you all for looking in. I want to tell you, I want to give you some programming notes for the show. Next week, there will be no video at all of the Uncle Henry Show. No video next week of the Uncle Henry Show. And I will be off a couple of those days. Nothing health related. I'm actually fine. I had one day that I didn't feel well, where a couple of days ago, I've been in radio since 1983. A couple of days ago, I came that close to throwing up while on the air. And I didn't know what to do because you were watching. I was on the microphone. But I ended up not upchucking, which was good. But I feel much better now. Much better. I'm not going to be off for any health reasons. I will not be off for any health reasons. But there will be no video next week. And I will be taking a few days off because I've got to do a little of this and a little of that. But I'll be back the following week with more video here with you on YouTube. Now, let's see, back on the radio here in a couple of minutes. And thank you for watching Love Freak 69. Appreciate that very much. Now, also the video, I'm ending the video after the next segment of the show. So there's just a little brief video hello to you on your Friday. And then I'll be back in about a week. I believe next week I'll have 2 brand new Uncle Henry shows. And one will be with the sheriff, and one will be with the guy that wants that job. The 69-year-old Chris, I don't think there will be any live shows next week. But you never know. Could occur. Might happen. We're having there's a lot of extra things to do. I've told you before that we're switching to a new software that is required. I was in one of the longest meetings of my life the other day about this new software. Now, it's supposed to be good once we go to it, but exciting, fun software meetings. I was kind of hoping a UFO would pick me up out of the meeting. Didn't happen.
Blindster. Buying custom blinds shouldn't be complicated or stressful. That's why we make it simple and affordable. You measure, you install, and you save big on custom blinds. Ordering takes minutes, installation is easy,
and it looks like you did it instead of a pro.
Traffic and weather? Check. Opinions? Check. This is the Uncle Henry Show, only on News Radio 710 WNTM.
This is the Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM. News headlines coming up in 10 minutes. Now, later this hour, coming up after the news break, I'm going to interview the elderly movie critic Leonard Maltin. Yes, he's still alive. He and his daughter have a new book out about movies back when movies weren't horrible. And so I'm going to talk to Leonard Maltin and his daughter coming up after the news break. But right now, I've got living human beings on the telephone. At least I think they are. Hello, caller.
Good evening, Uncle Henry.
Bert, you are live on the radio.
Uncle Henry, do you remember the names Charles Hickson and Calvin Parker?
Now, are those the guys that got picked up in Pascagoula by a UFO?
That's the ones.
Now, you're going to tell me that you played in a band with them. Is that correct?
No, but I was a senior at South Alabama when Charles Hickson came to speak.
Oh, you got to hear him talk?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
This was 8 years after the incident. And, Uncle Henry, I got to tell you, over the years, I have gotten pretty good at spotting liars. There are things they do to give themselves away.
Hey, Bert, I'm sorry. Your phone is getting hard to understand. Is there a different?
I was getting another call, one of these robocallers.
Okay, now I can hear you perfectly. Tell me again. You say that you've gotten good at spotting liars. What did you think of him?
Yes, and that skill served me pretty well a few years later when I pulled jury duty. But that's a story for another day. Charles Hickson did not strike me as, let's say, a bull shipper, if you know what I mean. He did not strike me as somebody that makes up stories just for publicity. He said that they shined a very bright light in his face, and his eyes had not been the same since, and that the younger guy, Calvin Parker, had been completely normal before this incident. Just a regular guy that worked with him and went fishing with him when that happened, and he had been in and out of mental institutions ever since that happened 8 years earlier. And this was the first abduction experience I had ever heard of. Before that, you know, the cartoons had some alien asking an earthling to take them to their leader.
Right.
And things like that. But this was the first time I had heard of humans being treated like lab rats by whatever these things are.
Yeah.
This man was very convincing, Uncle Henry. He did not strike me as somebody telling a made-up story.
Well, look, I respect that. So let me ask you this. You've heard their story. What, do you really believe it's aliens from another planet, or do you believe it's something else?
Well, if they're earthlings, they have technologies that we don't get to hear about, is all I can say. By the way, 5 years later, I was driving home from L.A. at night. I was in the deserts of West Texas. I saw an extremely bright light stationary in the sky, 10 times too bright to be a hot air balloon or anything like that. And it was about 200 or 300 feet below the level of the mountaintops. And the whole time I was in view of it, it never moved. I did not pull over and gawk because I had read some accounts of people that had really bad experiences, and I didn't want to be one of them. So I just drove on. But a few years later, I heard of a phenomenon called the Marfa Lights. Listening to the show you were mentioning, Coast to Coast AM.
Yeah.
In that region of Texas, people were seeing things like that, and nobody had an explanation for it. I did not see, with a telescope, the outline of a spacecraft or anything like that. But I know it was not an airplane, and I know it was not a hot air balloon because it was way too bright for that.
So, Bert,
whatever it is, it stayed there.
You've been following politics for a long, long time. So, from a different angle, from the political angle, why are we now hearing about all this right now? Why now?
That's a very good question. Some people think it's distraction from things that are going on that they don't want us to know about. I remember maybe last year they were supposed to have exposed a lot of Kennedy assassination files that were kept under wraps for 50 or 60 years.
Right.
And there was nothing really stunning that was released, no incriminating fingers against the usual suspects. So I don't know if there's going to be anything big this time. I've even heard that Kennedy was about to blow the lid off the Roswell incident, and that's one of the reasons that he was whacked. He was about to tell the naked truth that we have recovered a UFO, whatever you want to call it, at Roswell. The inhabitants did not survive the crash, and we reverse engineered some technology from it. That was beginning during Kennedy's term.
Yes.
And this was according to a fellow who was involved in it named Philip Corso. He wrote about all of it in the book The Day After Roswell, the different technologies that were not actually created by Earthlings. They were reverse engineered. It's a very fascinating book.
All right, well, Bert,
that's all I got to say.
Well, hey, thank you for sharing all that with us. I really appreciate that, Bert.
Thank you for taking my call, Uncle Henry.
And thank you again for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. Hello, caller.
Uncle Henry.
Yes, sir.
Man, I'm glad you got to me. Thank you, Bert, for that information, all the information you had. But I was one that never believed in flying saucers. This is Roland.
Yes.
Now, you listen to me real good, and the public too. Listen to me real good now.
Yes, sir.
Back during that time, back in the 70s, around about 71, 72, I was employed at Ingle Shipyard. I even remember the boats we were working on, LHA 1s and 2s, what we was working on. We was going to work early in the morning. When you catch the van, it'd be real early. By the time when we got to the old drawbridge there, it was a drawbridge. When we hopped up on the bridge, I was in the passenger seat. The rest of the guys in the back of the van were asleep. Wasn't nobody, the driver and I saw this. I forget his name a long time ago. But anyway, it was a flying saucer. And I'm telling you the absolute truth, and I've been trying to tell it ever since those boys came out about they was kidnapping. I was not kidnapped. We saw the flying saucer, the driver and I, when it came up out the water. So I know that they do go in and out the water. I do know that. I had never saw a flying saucer until that point. I was a non-believer. But when we jumped up on the bridge in the van, the flying saucer came up on our left side. It came up out the water at an angle. I saw the water drip off the saucer, about a 40-foot wide, I guess you would call, saucer. I saw the water drip off of it. The lights came on around the edges of it. It was almost as though somebody say, whoops, we turned on the lights too quick. And they turned the lights back out, and the saucer was like a gray, a flat gray.
Hey, Roland, thank you. I've got to go into the news break, but Roland, thank you so much for telling your story.
From the Spring Hill Toyota Traffic Center.
And we have an accident in Mobile on Airport Boulevard, just west of Azalea Road. Also an accident, Overlook Road at Carlisle.
YouTube viewers, thank you for watching. Turning off the camera now. There is another hour of Uncle Henry Show to come. I'll be back on camera in a little more than a week. Have a pleasant evening, pleasant weekend, happy Mother's Day, and all that stuff. And be careful. Be careful with the UFOs.